The Book of Job, Chapter 4, King James. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If we essay to commune with thee, wilt thou be grieved? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Thy words have upholden him that was falling, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest, it toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and the uprightness of thy ways? Remember, I pray thee, who ever perished, being innocent? Or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plough iniquity, and sow wickedness, reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. The roaring of the lion, and the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions, are broken. The old lion perisheth for lack of prey, and the stout lion's whelps are scattered abroad. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof. In thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face, the hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof, an image was before mine eyes, there was silence, and I heard a voice, saying, Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his Maker? Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. How much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. They are destroyed from morning to evening, they perish forever without any regarding it. Doth not their excellency which is in them go away? They die, even without wisdom. Commentary and main themes. Job chapter 4 begins the first response from Job's friends, specifically Eliphaz the Temanite. Up to this point, they had sat in silence, mourning with Job. Now, Eliphaz speaks, and his words introduce a line of reasoning that will continue throughout much of the book. At first, Eliphaz speaks with a tone that seems respectful. He acknowledges Job's past faithfulness, how Job strengthened others, upheld the weak, and encouraged the struggling. But then comes the shift, he questions why Job now falters under his own suffering. In essence, he suggests that Job should be able to endure what he once helped others endure. The core of Eliphaz's argument is this: suffering is the result of sin. He implies that the innocent do not perish, and therefore, Job's suffering must be evidence of wrongdoing. This is a critical theological error. While it is true that sin has consequences, Eliphaz wrongly assumes a direct and immediate link between personal suffering and personal guilt. He supports his claim with observation, they that plough iniquity, reap the same, and even appeals to a supernatural experience, describing a fearful night vision. In that vision, a voice declares the greatness of God and the frailty of man, emphasizing that no human can be more righteous than God. While parts of what Eliphaz says are true, God is just, and man is frail, his application is flawed. He lacks the full picture. The reader knows from earlier chapters that Job's suffering is not punishment for sin, but a test allowed by God. Main themes. The beginning of human reasoning about suffering. The danger of assuming all suffering is caused by personal sin. Partial truth mixed with misunderstanding. The contrast between God's wisdom and human perspective. The need for compassion alongside truth. This chapter reminds us that not all counsel is wise, even when it sounds spiritual. Truth must be rightly applied, and compassion must accompany correction. Eliphaz speaks confidently, but without full understanding. Memory verse. Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his Maker? Job 4 verse 17, King James.